How susceptible are you to being deceived by subliminal warfare? How powerful is the intuitive mind? Generally, by the way, the intuitive mind is related to organs in the brain that are on the right hemisphere of the brain. In this reading, we're going to look at why people who meditate and use their intuitive mind are less likely to be tricked or to be victims of subliminal warfare. This is an Iraqi army, one of the most powerful armies in the world, who were completely, utterly controlled by some subliminal messages. They were controlled to give up, to surrender. They had no idea why they were surrendering. They had been subjected to, unbeknownst to them, 3 days of subliminal messages on an FM frequency. So one thing that we do know from the intelligence report and we'll hear more about what happened to to this army later on in the reading, is that subliminal warfare, it works such that it bypasses the conscious mind and goes directly to the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is sort of the area of the brain that's taking in all the information around it. It's reality-based, okay? So it's taking in actual information around it, basic information. So it's not the intuitive mind. It uses logic, okay? So what I'm asking, first of all, is to show us, because what we want to know in this reading, we want to get to the point where we can understand what happened. Why were these people able to be programmed? So we want to see in tarot, first of all, what is the conscious mind? Show us in tarot what would we see for the conscious mind. So this is sort of the opposite of the intuitive mind. Show us the conscious mind, please, because that's what these guys were running on. Show us the conscious mind, please. So here we're asking, well, here's what I was actually asking when I was shuffling. I'm logical. Show me the conscious mind, the man, the conscious mind material. Look at. All right, so I have to pause the tape here and make a comment. This makes perfect sense. When I asked what consciousness was, so this would be information that's incoming. In other words, the part of the brain that is processing information that comes in, what they see, it's logic, it's information collecting. It's not the intuitive side. So what's interesting is on the tree of life, which we talk about a lot, which has to do with things coming into creation and manifestation and thought and speech and action. The consciousness is represented by Hakma, by one character, and that is the magician. And I believe we're looking at the Ten of Pentacles, which is the tree of life, and there's the magician. Let me just show you. So the second Sephira there, which here on this tree of life, it's wisdom. That's Hakma, or where the great father sits. That is where the magician is located on the tree of life. It's associated with consciousness, so it's the ideas. It's the very first Sephira for where information is incoming after it comes down from Keter. So it's before the idea has been sent over to Bina. It has not been analyzed or developed. The intuitive mind has not looked at that information yet, okay? Here are some notes that I found. I'm just looking at some notes that I found. I have the Fool as the superconscious, the Magician as the best use of the self-conscious, and the High Priestess as the guardian of the subconscious. So you could think generally as the Magician is the conscious, the High Priestess subconscious, the Fool, super conscious. All right, so it's amazing that we got the Magician when we were asking to see the conscious. All right, so let's keep going. So I'm just replaying the tape here when we were asking about the conscious mind, to see the conscious mind. And now I'm going to just sort of fast forward to the next question. By the way, what happened here on the original reading was that I didn't realize the significance of the Magician coming out here. So you'll see me picking up the deck and moving forward. I'm just going to speed up the tape because then what happened was I stopped because I didn't realize how significant the Magician was. Here's where I stopped, and then basically there's a big long discussion of what I've just discussed regarding Hakma. So I'm going to try to fast forward until we pick up, and you'll see me stopping again here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward to the part where we pick up regarding what I ask for more information about the conscious mind. And there I'm stopping again because I'm realizing how important the Hakma was. Ways that we would know that we're supposed to realize that we're seeing somebody operating from just the conscious mind. Show me somebody who is operating with just somebody who's on, oh, wow, look at this. So there you have the Two of Pentacles, which again is, the Two of Pentacles is associated with Hakma. It's where somebody is indecisive, and that is, I believe, an idea that came down from Keter. So that's the idea that's what you carried from Keter down to Hakma. But it gets stuck at the Two of Pentacles because the Two of Pentacles is processing. It's in the Two of Pentacles, an idea is not being, nothing is going anywhere. It's somebody who is overthinking. It's where only logic is the Two of Pentacles basically is thinking, not getting anywhere, overthinking. All of the twos are associated with Hakma, so it makes sense. Okay, so show us how else, what else would we see in tarot to show somebody who is relying purely on the conscious, operating from the conscious. Wow. Remember when I was whining and nagging about he has to get an opinion from everybody? That's someone getting an opinion. So what I believe is going on here is if somebody is not using their intuitive mind, remember that what they're going to be believing is that all that exists is what they see. They're going to rely on facts, on statistics, on what other people say. What are the laws of today? What are the laws here? Who are the leaders? So it's going to be really important to this person what other people think. This person is asking others, what do you think? What do you think I should do? What do they say? What does he say? What do those people think? This person doesn't have, they don't have their own ideas because they're not accessing their own intuition. This is Mars in Capricorn with the Three of Pentacles. It's where an expert is being consulted with on how to build. And again, we have the Two of Pentacles. Thinking, considering. It's a very uneasy way for your mind to operate. The other problem is if this is your person and they are trying to make up their mind about what kind of a person you are, they may feel deep down that they know you're a good person, but they need to ask other people because they can't access their intuition. So here they're talking to others and they're going to favor somebody else's opinion of you over their own because they can't access their own. It's deep down there somewhere, but it's not clear. It's not logical or practical to them. Somebody else's is. And, anyway, let's keep going. One more for what we would see for someone who is operating and relying completely, utterly, and totally, on the conscious mind. Need I say more? This person, there's the soldier who gave up, who gave in, didn't even try. Sabotage the connection, defeat, pain. But do you know what that Ten of Swords also is, though? It's about, it's supposed to be the end of illusions. What illusions? The illusion of that of the material world. What's the illusion? That it's all there is all you can see. This person will give up and be defeated. Based on that opinion. Also, just as an example, let's say an expert says that, you have this type of disease and there's no way that you can live. This person will allow themselves to be defeated because they are not accessing their intuition. They don't believe in God. They don't believe that there's another way. It's just logic, facts, and medical science is always correct, that type of thing. So, if this person here, let's say this is you innocently coming along, this person or these people, they trust that, let's say this is their friend or their uncle or their father or their brother or someone that they've been very loyal to and good to. They just assume that this person has their best interest in mind. Oh, really? Really? Well, this is not, whatever connection could have occurred here, whatever battle should have been won, boy, can this ever be easily defeated. All right. Now let's ask, just before we do the read, now we want to show us the subconscious. All right? Show us what we would see for, let's just ask about a feminine energy. I'm trying to think of someone that I know is extremely, let's make sure that you pay attention here because this is pretty amazing what comes out. Extremely wise about what's going to happen. I know a lot of these people, so I'm trying to figure out. No, I was going to ask to look at Tinkerbell because she actually, but that's not a good idea because she has superpowers. Well, actually, no. Here's what we're going to do. What's happening? So, for example, I'm going to ask what's going on in Tinkerbell's brain when, for example, what I find lately is I could be lying down, not moving, and in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go down and do the laundry. And I actually, in my mind, I've gone through the plan. The minute I think, okay, I'm going to get up now and go downstairs and do the laundry, about 10 seconds before I even move, Tinkerbell gets up off the bed and she starts going out and she's going down toward the laundry room. How does she know? What's going on in her brain? What's going on in her brain? What's going on in her brain? Look at the moon. Wow. Wow. Guys. God, I love her so much. And now you're asking, what am I seeing? So in the hermit energy, that's someone who can see the truth, but they are actually not using their eyes. The hermit's eyes are closed. So you can see the hermit is not using eyesight they are being guided by that light. That's the Star of David. I believe what this is the third eye of cats are able to pick up things that are in the quantum field. That has been proven scientifically. So here she's picking up what's in the quantum field in the moon. She's picking up information that is beyond those gray pillars. It's information that is not in the 3D. So we're going to look at what happened when these soldiers who were relying on their conscious mind, we're going to assume that, were subjected to the subliminal messages. So when the soldiers... Oh, there's one question we should ask first. Actually, no, let's just keep going. When the frequency started playing, now apparently it was something, so they wouldn't have, their conscious mind wouldn't have been able to hear or detect words. So with these subliminal messages, I don't know if it was a frequency or subliminals, but whatever it was, if there were words there, the way that it flashes, it's so fast, it's so quiet. It's designed actually so that the conscious mind cannot hear it. But it goes straight into the subconscious, okay? And that subconscious then takes over. They don't even know why they believe something. So when the soldiers, so they're, first of all, they're before the frequency started or subliminal messages, show me what was happening to them after the first couple of hours of those messages going in. Wow, holy moly. Now this is interesting because the Eight of Swords is Jupiter in Gemini. It's actually where the mind is out of control. There is overthinking, scattered thought. There is an overemphasis. And by the way, the eights are all about repetition. So you can tell the mind is restricted here. There's thought is restricted to something repetitious. They have become a prisoner of their mind. Mind control, literally. But their own mind is out of control. So they are no longer in control of their mind. Here's a quote from Waite. The mind has been shortened by its own. It has shortened its own power by scattered thoughts. It is the prison of the intellect. So now what's crazy is the pairing of the Eight of Swords with the Five of Pence. Just a moment here. So there's an idea of a trap here, being trapped in one's head. The intellect is trapping. And now remember that we've got here somebody who is thinking negatively as well. There's a focus on negative thought, a focus on restrictions. But the question is, there's also a focus on, the things that they are focusing on really do not have reasonable, there's no grounds for them. But the problem is somebody here, they are literally focusing entirely on intellect. So the thoughts are taking over. The thoughts, there's a focus on intellect, logic. And that is, I believe, what the problem is here is there is a starvation here because there is so much emphasis on thought. And of course, the repetition is probably is probably a big part of this. The Five of Pentacles, that's Mercury in Taurus. Notice how we've got a lot of Mercury, a lot of this communication here. Now, here we have, isn't it funny? This is all about logic, hope, and reason. There is hope there. But the problem is the logical mind is unable to find the hope. So as you can see, perhaps if they had perhaps if their intuitive mind were highly active, the creative mind, it could perhaps find some hope. Okay. There is hope there. They have to, hope can't be seen, you see. So they have to believe it. They have to find a way to muster up some hope when it cannot be seen. It's kind of like, remember that movie Alive? It was based on a true story. And, there's this horrible plane crash. I think it's in the Himalayas or something. And there's a very poor search party. They really don't do enough to look for them. And there's this very fine young man who, after the plane crashes, everyone thinks he's probably going to die because he's in some kind of coma for the first week and a half. And all these other men that were that everyone thinks, oh, they'll probably get us out. At the end of the day, the young man who they presume was dead, he's the one who walked through, I don't know how long, it's true story. He, out of frustration, he saved them all. He did the impossible. He found and mustered up, he found hope when there was none. He found it. Where, through it, you can see it's there. But anyway, so there's also illness, loss. Somebody's close to death there. So that's what happened after a couple of hours. Now, let's ask, assuming the messages were, so I believe, I don't know if, so I've been looking up information on what they were doing. And as far as I know, it was an FM transmitter. I have heard one person say that it was subliminal. So why don't we ask if they were messages, Spirit. So as an example, so when I was a little girl, I think I was able to pick up on, in the 70s, that'll tell you how old I am, in the 70s, when I was growing up, there was a lot of subliminal advertising on it. It was just before the really outrageous stuff that was going on in the States. That, they had some laws had to be made because, oh my God, it was terrible. Now, I have this memory of, I was saying to my brother a couple years ago, because when we were kids, we used to love Kentucky Fried Chicken. And when our parents would let us go through the drive-thru and they'd have the bucket and everything. And I said to my brother, I guess this is about 10 years ago, we were talking about ads, and I'm like, remember that ad, the Colonel Can't Let You Down? And he said, yeah, but he started trying to Google it. It's nowhere. It was never a commercial, but I know that was that. I actually thought there was a jingle, a song, the Colonel Can't Let You Down. That's how I felt about that colonel with the white suit and the white beard. And I believe that was a subliminal message that they were using. It was right before it was outlawed. Anyway, if any of you have found an ad with those words, let me know. But at first I thought I was crazy. And then when I started looking at this stuff that had happened with the Iraqi soldiers, I thought, my God, because they were explaining in the intelligence report, it was explaining that with what happened in the States before it was outlawed, here's how fast the flash has to be in order for it to be effective. It has to be so imperceptible that your conscious mind, so you can't see it, okay? But it has to go straight to the conscious. The speed was 1, so for a word that flashes like the Colonel can't let you down, 1/3000th of a second in order for it to bypass your Hakma and go into your Bina. Imagine that, eh? So show me, if they were messages for those soldiers, what were the types of messages that they were saying? So what I'm wondering is, were they saying, you're going to lose, or you're doing the wrong thing? What generally, we're not going to get it word for word, but what were the subliminal messages, please, that the Iraqi soldiers were getting? Just a minute now. I got to get my glasses. Well, first of all, there's two here. One is sort of why they did it, and the second is the subliminal message. The reason why they did this is because the size of the army, and now I know why they kept emphasizing that the army that gave in was very large. So there was the U.S. were asked to support. The truth was there was almost no. The U.S. didn't have. They knew that they had like 1/10 of, maybe it was smaller than that. They knew they couldn't win the war because of the amount of soldiers, okay? The Iraqi army was just... So the message that was being pumped in over and over to the Iraqis was the opposite. So it was that we would need a hell of a lot more to defeat them. We would need a hell of a lot more to defeat them. So it's something like we don't have enough. That the U.S. or whoever it was, they have a much larger army. So the soldiers, it was some kind of message that kept subliminally telling them. And that's like candle magic. It's a very, very strong focus. It hypnotizes you, stir at the flame. You see, there's no candle magic used, but you get the idea. There was this, they hypnotized them into thinking that their smart army was too small and they needed a hell of a lot more to be able to win. Meanwhile, the truth was the opposite. Whoever was over there hanging out, they hardly had any. They might have parked a bunch. They might have tried to make it look like they had a larger, and in fact, what's interesting is when they did come in to do the siege, it was after the soldiers had given up, and it was only a few trucks or something. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so this repetitious convincing them, brainwashing them into thinking that the army that they were facing was 10 times their size, and that they needed more to defeat them. So they show me what were the other messages that were brainwashed. Just a minute now. They were also brainwashed into making themselves visible. There was a constant message. Make sure that you turn on your lights enough so that everyone can see you. So they knew where they were. Show me what else they were convinced to do. Make sure the deadlifts can see you. Make sure you're making enough light. Oh, God, Jesus. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So from here on, I believe the messages were something to the effect of you can have a better life, to pack up, make room for something better to come into your life, something like that, almost as if to surrender would be good because something better will be ahead. I'm not sure if they were thinking that this would be the U.S., but so here I think they're worrying about their loved ones. We've got them up till 3 a.m. not being able to sleep. So they were being sleep deprived for one thing. But there's an idea here of them worrying about these were all male soldiers, obviously. They were worrying about their divine counterpart here. There's a female that they're worrying, almost like they should be thinking about a better life, and that there could be a suggestion here that if they don't surrender, that their woman or their wife will be on her own, and what would happen to her. Something like that. That someone is stressing over them and that they should go back, that it would be it would be better for them to go back and nurture that I believe would be their wife or their family. Something like that. There's a better life ahead. And this is either them not being able to sleep or them feeling like someone is losing sleep over them or would leave them, that their wife would leave them. Now here they're telling them that they have everything that they need to succeed, that they've already been a success. So it's almost like they're being told that success, they've already succeeded. They have everything they need to succeed. They don't need to win this war. And again, what this is someone being completely unable to sleep. It's a zombie. There's no sleep at this point. They're not sleeping. But they're being told that they've already been a success, that they should move forward and enjoy the success that they've already achieved. That they don't need to win the war. They have everything they need right now to succeed. This could be a message as well where we've got the magician. It may be a subtle message that this is communication here, manipulation, that how powerful it is. In any case, that they actually were able to win this war by putting up these FM transmitters. It's kind of shocking when you think about it, when they were doing absolutely nothing. I'm looking at the person in the hammock up there. I feel like those were the U.S. soldiers who were literally lying around doing nothing but manipulating thought. That's someone who is enjoying they're actually basking in the glory of their victory, and they did absolutely nothing but manipulate thought with the magician. So finally, what I'm seeing also is that they convinced the soldiers that it would be a success to surrender would be a success. And And there's something here about making their own decisions that they had. We've got the emperor there, and that shining the light for others to follow, that they were responsible, they were in a position of power to make this decision themselves to surrender, and that they should get others to follow them. Everyone should follow them, and that this decision, they had the power to make this decision with the emperor card there. They had the responsibility to make this decision. They were responsible for this, and that others will follow them. And finally, that we can see here, they're making their way for a better life, making room for a better life. There's an idea of giving up here, packing up, leaving, and that a better life is ahead. And again, shine your light, get others to follow you. Make sure that others follow you. So with the Eight of Pentacles there, and that message about shining their light so that others will follow, I think this is just a repeated message of focusing, a repetitious message that they should shine their light so that bright enough so that others could follow. They're all doing the same work. Their work is done. They're being tricked here because there's an idea of fairies in that card. But I think it has to do with them being focused on their work, others following, and here's a great success that they've won. Yay, I've won. Now it's time to celebrate. They may have been convinced that they had won already, that there was no other work to do, that their work was done, that this had been a great success, that everything was over with. Now, this is interesting because this is a message to them that being soft is strength. So it's a great sign of strength to be soft and to be gentle. So again, the idea, perhaps this was inserted so that once they realized that they were surrendering, they could realize that this was a sign of strength. This is a great sign of strength, to be soft and gentle. And there we have the Eight of Wands, this go, get on the move. This would have been right as they were surrendering. And of course, the Eight of Wands, this is a card of victory. So it's time to get on the move. Go. Here we go. The Eight of Wands, light a fire underneath your cauldron and go. So this was the surrender. It's pretty incredible when you think about it. They clearly they won total utter. They won a war without a single bullet, by mind control. Now, I have one last question. What I want to know is, so when the Divine Masculine is not listening to any of his intuition, how does that make the connection vulnerable? Like, how does that make him, what happens? How does it affect him? Does it make him vulnerable to other energies? Like, how does it make him, obviously he's more susceptible to listening to others. How does, when he's not listening to his intuition, guilt that his family puts on him, when he's not listening to his intuition, his family can make him feel guilty or that he be, how does not listening to one's intuition, why would that make him, Why would that allow all these karma? Why would that make it easier for the connection? Okay, there's some lying. Oh, somebody's lying about how they feel. In other words, this Page of Cups here can manipulate. No, I'm wrong. That's completely wrong. What's happening here is this person, who's one of the karmics, or who's someone pretending to be a friend, is being completely manipulative. I just want to explain to you what the Page of Cups is doing here. I mean, they're coming across as innocent there. How could she possibly be responsible for the karmic not coming toward the divine feminine? She's totally sweet. No, let me tell you what she's doing. So this is a very important point here. When the masculine is not here at all, okay? Well, actually, it would be here, but this was more about the power that little tiny page has. When the masculine is not paying attention to his intuition. This person here looks so cute and innocent, doesn't she look? She looks so sweet in her hair, and she looks so nice. And, she's probably, really kind to children and everything. But behind her back there, she's probably stolen some jewelry, and, she's probably going to go see Tom, Dick, or Harry after, she sees your person. She has, now I don't do reversals, okay, but I asked to see the karmic and what they can do. So I'm going to read this in the reverse. The Page of Cups, it's not a sophisticated liar at all. So that'll tell you how easy it is for someone to make your person feel over here. Like this energy here is not very powerful. That's like the kid that it's not a good liar at all. And anyone who has their, in touch with their intuition, they'll know right away that this little girl is lying. She tells whoppers. Now, in this energy here, she doesn't have any regard for how your person feels. She's coming across as sweet and harmless. She's actually scheming quite a bit. It's not good scheming. But love is a game to this person. They have fun. They make up some whoppers. They have wild imagination. They're acting, They're coming across as being nice and compassionate. But what they're doing, though, is they're capable of really harmful gossip, okay? And so your person, this is harmful gossip that she's doing, she's lying, but because your person can't see it, it's like your person is immediately, it's so easy for her to make your person feel like this. Now, these feelings are the most intense, deep, dark feelings. They can be intense, overwhelmed, suffering. Look at the power that little liar, she's not even good at lying. Your person doesn't even know. Everyone else is like, my God, did they actually believe her? You're thinking, you believed, that person? So it makes, this person is extremely manipulatable, right? If they can't tell when someone is lying, they'll feel sorry, oops. Look at this. Look at this. This little tiny, 105 pound or less than that, not very smart, not very well educated. She probably has a criminal record. She lies all the time. She's not even good at lying. And nothing makes sense that she says. Look at the power that she has. She has the power to control. The power to win. The power. She has power over the man. Power. Look at the power that someone has over you when you do not use your intuition. You know. So I was just picking the divine masculine as an example here. So this would be what happens when the divine masculine is not using his intuition at all, and you've got a karmic involved there in the Page of Cups. Just as an example, you can switch the energies around for the divine feminine who's not paying attention to her intuition. So I don't think it's really anyone's fault. Men especially are not, I don't know. I'm not even going to analyze it. The point is, you take care of yourself when, against getting a cold. You lock your doors at night so you don't get robbed. This is emotional manipulation. It's that little tiny girl she is carrying out some subliminal warfare. And she's going to win. And then she's going to forget about everyone the next week. It's bubblegum smacking, ponytail wielding, cheap perfume, joker, liar, manipulator. She'll probably end up in jail, at some point in her life. That person took down an empress. Really? And was able to manipulate a divine masculine. Whoa. Trust your intuition. Do some meditation. Go to the self-help section of the bookstore and suspend your disbelief. Guys, thank you so much for watching.